Everybody, welcome back to Gym Life Podcast, live or not really live, but recorded anyhow. We're live, but
we're alive.
We are definitely live. Clash at the Coast with my friend and I guess counterpart in the gym life or in the media business of strongman.
Yes.
Gym life as well.
100%.
Yeah, from Strong Personalities, Yony Bear, folks.
What's up, everybody? Happy to jump on here.
Hey, listen, you commentated one of the biggest shows in the nation today and yesterday and tomorrow.
Yep.
How's your experience been so far?
It's been a really great experience. I've actually worked with Clash 2 times. This is being my 2nd time, and I just am amazed at the pace that we can move. One, just because of how well it is planned out by Tyler Purdue, and then just how well the volunteers work together to make sure that we are ready to go after every event.
No disappointment today. I mean, the finals, honest to God, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was, and the only reason we even got to that mark is just because we had to hit the commercial breaks for ESPN.
Yeah, it was over within a blink of an eye. I literally turned around and we were on the stones already.
Yep.
12 guys, too. And we have unusual to Clash. We got 12 guys in this one simply because of a 3-way tie.
Yeah, ain't that wild? There was a 3-way tie in one of the heats, so they just kept on the 2 extra athletes, and we just had it, even with the 2 extra athletes, under 2 hours.
No better way to do it, though, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. The count back in strongman is a questionable thing to begin with because it's not how we win and lose shows.
Yes.
So is there a right or wrong way to do that, Yony? If we had to really count back, what would it be, a count back to determine that, or would it be a 6th event? If you could map it out yourself.
I would just add another event. I would rather just keep it. Actually, let's rewind. What's a count back?
Well, the count back would be, what do they say? First place, number of first place, number of second place, best finishes.
Are you talking about
right?
the tiebreaker?
Tiebreaker, yeah.
Oh, I think it should be finishes.
Okay.
The tiebreaker should always be how many first place finishes. I hate it when it's just like I don't like World's Strongest Man, where it's just how well did you finish on the stones.
Right.
Kind of like Martin and what's his name? Oh, the Ukrainian strongman.
Alexei,
remember how he lost second place just because Martin, even though he won, he got first place finishes on more events. So you should reward first place finishes.
Yeah, I agree. So if we were at least going to do it from that perspective, it should be all the events, not just one event.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I guess the other argument would be, well, strongman isn't won and lost by first place finishes, as we know. But I guess there's no more fair way to do it unless you add that 6th event.
Exactly.
I got you.
Because I rather there be a clear winner versus us just trying to decide. It's kind of like a boxing match. Don't let it go to the judges. I want to see that knockout.
I love that analogy because I use it all the time myself. So that resonates with me. It's perfect. You're right. Don't let it go to the judges. Knock them out yourself. So.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. And what did you think about all those bicep tears yesterday? Was that nuts?
Okay, it's
you're the biceps, seriously.
Yeah. So one of the things is it's a tire flip event. If you don't train it correctly, if you don't practice it correctly, if your arms are too in, that's going to cause problems, right? Especially when you're working with a tire that's 750 to 800 pounds. The other thing is these guys are cutting a lot of weight for these competitions.
That's
true. Always a fan that if you're cutting the UFC rules where if they catch you cutting more than 5% body weight, then you're not going to be allowed because of what kind of condition that puts your muscles and your tendons. And I think that's part of the other reason that we saw so many tears yesterday.
And listen, this is not an untypical conversation between you and some other people like the John and Darren specifically, and even Nick Myers now is a real big proponent of strongman standards.
Yes.
And that's a standard, of course, that we'd have to add to that list, right? I don't disagree with that at all. I think the proof's in the pudding. We saw it this year. We could go back and detail it all you want on how these things happen, but ultimately this weight cut that a lot of these 105ers are making now, it's pretty damn extreme.
And then I'm not going to name specific athletes, but just I know some of the weights that they started off before they made their cut for their water cuts. We're looking at athletes that were in the 250s.
Yeah, it's crazy to
coming
think
down
20,
to
30,
that 231. Yeah. So again, it's obviously it's the athlete's choice to make that cut. I just know that there's dangers, especially when you have an event like the tire flip, and if you were one of the athletes that started off your day with the tire flip, the danger, I feel, goes up a little bit higher.
Yeah, good points, all of them for sure. And maybe we'll see that, right? We're gonna keep pushing forth the strongman standards, and hopefully we'll start to see that better and better every year. And that might be top of the list, honestly.
Yes.
Where these guys and gals fit into these categories legitimately is where they need to be.
Yes.
So that's a great thought. And now my head's getting spinning in a different direction. What'd you think of the result today? Looking, Dan Hughes, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'll be the first to say it.
He moved up another spot though. He went from third to second.
Yep. Yeah, so it was almost an OSG finish, minus McKeegan, of course, being there now. Of course, McKeegan's been there twice. He comes up for this contest every year.
Yep.
And you can argue he had a really bad OSG.
Yep.
Even he'll tell you that, embarrassingly so. Andrew Clayton was on a mission.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
His whole motivation, or not his whole motivation, but one of his big motivations is just reminding himself that he wasn't invited.
Yeah, motivation enough.
Yeah.
And he was pissed off about it, rightfully so. Yeah.
And then I don't think he had a bad performance today. Like, there are some people that got really low scores, but he was pretty consistent or in the top 3 for almost every single event.
Boy, it was still closer than I thought towards the end.
Yeah, I actually thought that Andrew was clearly in first place going into the Stone event, but he was actually in third going into that event based on one of my going into the last event, you had Dan in first place, McKeegan in second, and then Clayton in third. And then by the end of that, you had Clayton first, Dan in second, and McKeegan in third.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw some great performances for even guys that didn't podium. I thought Bob Schwantz's Stones, once again, he may be king of the Stones in the 105ers.
Yeah, he feeds off of seeing other people struggle because, I think he had the most athletes at 4 or 5 athletes that couldn't even pick up a stone after he's already picked it up a couple of times. And I swear, he just kept getting stronger and stronger after every athlete failed in front of him.
Crazy. Good to see that. And it's fun to watch some of these guys, even in single performances. I thought right out of the gate with the Sear dumbbell, it separated the field like the Red Sea.
Yes.
I was really shocked to see as many zeros as I did in that.
Okay, so one of the things is if you don't train with the Sear dumbbell, you're not used to on how that dumbbell moves away from your hand, especially with how thick that grip is. So a lot of the guys had good push up, but then they would lose it because they didn't know what direction it was going. That's where I saw most of them lose it because a lot of them did a great job racking it, but then the second, when it came to aiming and punching underneath it, that's where they would lose it.
Yeah, and talk about taking the air out of the tires, man. When you don't get that lockout, boy, how deflating is that?
Oh, man, what event? Okay, so going back to the tire flip event, that was one of the most deflating moments is seeing all these athletes missing the tire, touching the line by like this much, forcing you to do another 10 seconds of work, having to just make sure that the tire touches that line, or the keg. The keg, every time the athletes would hit the bar, and then it would just bounce back on them. That was heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
Because that's just, it's so much
exhausting.
work. It's even though they knocked out one of the kegs, because the event was originally 3 kegs, now it's 2, then it became 2. It was still just a beating having to redo one of the kegs.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of this sport, I guess. There's a lot of empathy coming from the crowd sometimes when you see how hard these guys work at the craft that they're good at and what they love to do. You know, pain is an acceptance thing in this sport for sure.
Oh, yeah, because with a 2-day event like this and at the pace, you're asking these guys to do 100-meter sprints back to back to back to back, and then it just becomes like who can survive that as well.
Well, it's another event altogether. You know, Nick O'Hara would always say it best with these events that last more than 2 days. It's the 6th event in itself, you know.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You know, Yoni, I got something to say to you. You know, you and I have never met in person. We've done a lot of interactions on DMs and other podcasts.
That's good.
You know, you were way bigger in person.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I guess I look short.
I think it's your camera angle, the way you position that camera on you.
Yes, I always try to do it because I always think about my big forehead, so I feel like going from a higher position will make it look smaller. No, jokes aside, I'm just still learning on what's the best angle on this. I'm brand new to this.
Well, I got the best angle. It's like straight on because you're a giant.
That too. Yep.
Yeah, I tell you. I thought when you said your name, you like the nickname Yony Bear, I'm thinking, you ain't no bear. And I saw you today. I'm like, fuck, this guy's a bear.
Yeah. I got the nickname from being a bouncer back in the day because I was the nice bouncer.
Yeah.
So the ladies would call me Yony Bear.
Well, good. So it's not the other reason to be called a bear is what you're telling me.
No.
Just to be clear, I'd still love you either way.
I mean, I eat a lot of food in general.
All right,
but
fair enough.
Plus, I take a lot of pictures with a lot of the people that I've met here in the last 2 years are in the strongman sport. So when I take pictures with them, I look small next to most of the competitors that I've met through commentating and emceeing. Yeah. So I can kind of see why people think I'm short.
Well, listen, I've sat in this chair twice now with you and John Alamo, and right now I'm feeling real tiny in this chair. So I'm going to need a pillow for my next interview.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on it so I can at least out-angle you guys.
What's that movie? Bruce Almighty with
Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, with Jim Carrey. But it was one of, what's his name's early roles, the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, yeah, now you're going to blank us both. The worst thing we could possibly do on a podcast.
I know.
Right. We both know better than that.
Hey, what's the name of the guy who was on 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Anybody?
Anybody?
No. Steve
Thank
Carell.
you, Steve Carell. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Steve Carell, where he sits up when his co-host is taller than him.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's it for me for sure. So you're in town, well, obviously tomorrow because you're announcing that. We had a little snafus technically. We always do, right? Murphy's Law. Shit always happens.
Which
with
one are you
technical
talking
shit.
about?
Well, today, particularly with the mic.
Oh, yeah, my mic went out
Right
before, and we couldn't fix it in time, so then it was just me yelling the entire time.
Yeah, you were.
Which is
Yeah.
fine when you have a show that takes an hour and a half or less.
It's not bad. Yeah, sure.
No,
You can yell
it was
the whole
great,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What time's that show starting tomorrow?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. So same way we ran today. As the crow flies, probably be over with by 4. And
Oh, probably faster than that.
so here's my idea tomorrow. And I want to get this from a fellow media guy because you might appreciate that. You see that little stone ledge out there right there?
Yes.
Right behind that, I'm going to set this camera up. And on that stone ledge, I'm going to put a microphone. And behind that camera, I'm going to put a sign that says Party Cam Live. And I just want people to come up and grab that microphone and talk to the cam.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm down.
Okay, perfect. I think I can get some great hot takes from that.
Yep.
Almost some that guys would
And then
regret.
and
I'm
then
sure.
leave suggestion cues on like topics.
Oh, well, I don't even think I need to help these guys with that, right? Some of them are going to go off, I'm sure.
Maybe have a breathalyzer. Like if it's
Oh, no.
Let's
no,
have a
no,
breathalyzer,
no.
just
There might
in
be
case.
shots up there, actually. You got to take shots before you can talk in the camera.
I'm definitely out
yeah,
then.
you and I both. We'll keep each other away from
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We'll
But
be the
everybody else
sober
will
ones.
encourage them to get over there. Yeah.
As long as they have a room at the hotel and they don't have to drive anywhere, I'm
Fair
totally
enough.
down.
See, the nice bouncer, guys. He's already doing it again. Hey, Yony, thanks for joining me.
Of course,
And
man,
listen,
anytime.
Pleasure meeting you.
Yes,
One of my
we
good
finally
friends
met in
the industry.
person.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Y'all take care, guys. Woo!